And Peter King, as promised, joins us here on What the Football. Peter, Amy and I are just busy talking about the news out of Carolina. What are your thoughts on the firing?
Oh, yeah, I'm not too impressed with David Tepper. He's owned the team for 5 years now. And in the last 48 months, he's had 3 head coaches and now 3 interim coaches. And if that weren't bad enough, he owns the pro soccer team in Charlotte, and he's fired the coach each of the first 2 years. I believe there's a pattern developing. And I mean, truly, what's crazy about this, absolutely crazy, is that David Tepper, for 9 years prior to buying the Panthers, owned 5% of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a huge Steeler fan and probably still is, but he's a huge Steeler fan. Are you telling me that the franchise that has had 3 coaches in 50 years, that something didn't rub off on him? I think it's insane what he's doing. I just do. I think it's, I think he's making some huge mistakes. And look, maybe Frank Reich is not the guy. Okay, that's fine. Okay, but how do you go from falling in love with a guy, and then whacking him 10 months later? It's just, maybe you shouldn't have fallen in love with him then. That's the thing. Same thing with Matt Rule. I mean, the Matt Rule thing is really crazy because not only did he pay him a ridiculous amount of money to get out of Baylor, but he was sitting in Matt Rule's driveway with his PR guy and his GM at like 10 o'clock at night when they got home from a vacation, because he was determined to get Matt Rule before the Giants and anybody else could get in the Derby. So, he's a little bit, I don't know. I just think he's a little bit overboard. And I never thought we would see a Steinbrenner type guy in the NFL, but this guy is George Steinbrenner without the wins.
Peter, is it your sense or understanding that he is listening perhaps to the wrong people, that he has the wrong people in his ear, or that he's not listening to anyone, that he's not listening to the right people? Is he getting any input, or is he making these decisions absolutely on his own?
Amy, I really don't know who his kitchen cabinet is, if he's got one. I think that he really doesn't have that kind of advisory board with him. I think he feels like he wants to do something and he does it. He owns the team. And he's got some really smart people in that organization. And to me, I just think, and look, you were in this game for a long time, and that sometimes you are going to have really bad days and you're going to have bad years. But if you trust the people who you hired to do the job, you've got to, look, I was telling somebody today, how do you think Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones felt in 1989 when he went 1-15? You think Jerry was all confident and happy and gleeful and thinking that he had the right guy in Jimmy Johnson? Maybe he was saying that publicly, but you can't tell me he wasn't questioning himself after the great Jimmy Johnson goes 1-15 his first year. And, if you pick a head coach, you better know that there are going to be lean days, or else you wouldn't be having to hire a new head coach. So that's my problem right now with David Tepper.
Check out new episodes of What the Football with Suzy Shuster and Amy Trask every Tuesday. Watch us on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page or follow and listen wherever you get your podcasts.